Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley. Welcome back to Big 12 Insiders. Man, it's a good, fun weekend of football this weekend. I had a lot of fun watching it. Yes, I had my Halloween party. It was crazy, but I was watching football the entire time. We had some really good football games this weekend and kind of some defining moments for some teams. Either you took a step forward and say, yes, we are here to be counted, and we need to be taken seriously. And we had some other teams that said, I don't think we're ready for prime time yet. So we'll go through all of that, discuss the breakdown of each game that happened this weekend. I appreciate everybody being here. Before we do that, remember, as always, people, to continue to like, follow, subscribe, continue to get in the comments, tell us what you do and you don't like, and always hit the notification bell so you know exactly when Big 12 Insiders content comes out. Let's get into it. So first game, Kansas State physically just takes apart Kansas. I mean, this game, 42-17, and I don't know that it was that close, to be honest with you. Look, Kansas took advantage. K-State fumbled the opening kickoff. Kansas scored a touchdown technically, although Jaden Daniels clearly fumbled before he got into the end zone, but they gave him the touchdown anyway. And after that, it was 7-0, and after that, K-State just physically dominated the football game. Just took apart what they were trying to do. Look, Avery Johnson's starting to play like the Avery Johnson that we all thought he was going to start the season as. He's rounding into that form. Look good. I could go into a bunch of what happened and this and that about this football game, but it just comes down to this, and this might piss off KU fans, but it's the truth. Kansas State's just a better football program. And when you're the better football program, when in a game like this, and it was bad weather, but I don't want to hear it was bad weather for both teams. The superior football team wins, and they are just better. 17 years in a row that they have been better than KU. I'm sorry. And again, I said it before. If you can't win this year, brand new stadium, it's going to be packed. Crowd's going to be insane. A quarterback's been there 6 years, a talented quarterback, all the experience in the world. And you're technically a better football team because I still believe that Kansas is talented, other than that defense is not talented. It's pathetic. But your offense is super talented, and you can't win? 17 points is all you could muster? Well, the reason is K-State took the fight to you. KU didn't have it, and it was a blowout. 17 straight years. Lord have mercy. I don't know when they're going to win. Doesn't matter. Let's move on. TCU wins over West Virginia. TCU tried to give this game away at the end. Goodness gracious. I don't know. I'm just not sold on TCU. They have their moments as a team, but when it comes down to it, I'm just not sure. This is another game where TCU just showed up. They tried to do it against Kansas State. They thought they were just going to show up. Hey, we got a better record. I think we have a better roster. We'll just show up and just win, and you got the doors blown off of you. Well, you do the same thing to West Virginia. West Virginia is not as talented as Kansas State, and they almost come back and beat you. I'm like, this is what you muster? I mean, you're technically still in the race to be able to get to Arlington, and this is the best effort you can give. You give credit to West Virginia. I don't want to take anything away from them, but TCU is supposed to be a better football team. I mean, the total yards were even in this football game. Neither team could really run the football. Like I said, this is just another – to me, when I talked about it, the opening teams kind of separated themselves from who can win the conference and who can't. This performance by TCU, not to mention their schedule is crazy, but this performance is like, yeah, this is why you can't win. This is why you won't win the Big 12, is because you put on performances like this. I'm sorry. It's just the way I feel. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm fine. But I watched parts of this game, most of this football game, and TCU just didn't look like somebody that was interested. And good football teams that are trying to win the Big 12 conference, it's almost November. You don't have efforts like this. Just my opinion. Moving on. Don't need to spend a ton of time on this. Texas Tech demolishes Oklahoma State 42-0. The one thing is bad news out of Texas Tech. Will Hammond, out with an ACL injury. We all probably kind of knew that. Again, those non-contact injuries, it is what it is. So he's going to be out for the year. The news is that Baron Mortons, though, is going to be back and ready to go for the Kansas State game. But this was a domination. I mean, it was just a domination, an outright mismatch. Oklahoma State only had 182 total yards in offense. So you thought that Tech was going to – this was kind of the way that this one was going to go after last week, and that's the way that it went. So just bloody, but it is – I would say that Oklahoma State fought, but when you're this much outmatched, it doesn't matter how much you fight. You're going to take a beating, and they did. Moving on. Utah slaughters Colorado 53-7. Was it that close? Like 53-7. Like, was the game even that close? Now, this channel has gone radio silent to Colorado fans out there because a lot of those fans got on me. They told me that as a black man, how could I root against a black coach and all that yammer. And all the while, people that watch this channel and actually pay attention are like, well, Big B is a Coach Prime supporter, but he just tells the truth, which is exactly the case. I'm a Coach Prime supporter. I want him to succeed, but I'm not going to lie. They stink. They physically are a weak football team. And if you don't believe me, 422 yards rushing Utah had. Lord have mercy. 422. This is like the old Big 8 days when Oklahoma and Nebraska were running roughshod over everybody and just running wind sprints up and down the field. 420 yards rushing? Come on. I mean, this game was so bad at halftime, Colorado had negative 11 yards. Negative 11 yards. What am I supposed to say about that? What am I supposed to do? Somebody in the comments said that Colorado probably needs a new head coach. And first of all, I don't believe that because you look at where Colorado was previously. What I think this game was is I think this was get back from last year. Because I think a lot of Utah fans and the coaching staff think that Colorado ran the score up on them last year. I believe that that's how they feel deep down. And this was their get back. You're like, hold on a second. This is what you all did to us last year. Well, now we're going to return the favor. And Lord have mercy, did they return the favor? I mean, it didn't even look like – it looked like a high school team versus a peewee football team. That's what I equate this to. That's the kind of resistance that Colorado put up in this football game. Just no resistance whatsoever. And to be quite frankly, they should be ashamed of themselves. This effort, they should be ashamed of themselves. You can call it Coach Prime all you want, and that's fine. He's the head coach. He's got to live with this because you're the one who got your team prepared for this football game. And you're the one whose team put out this kind of effort. Own it, eat it, which I think he did, but that's pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourself. And Utah, good for you. If your motivation was they ran it up on us last year and we're going to run it up on their ass this year, I'm all for it. Y'all know me. Hey, stop us. And it's not like they threw the ball all over the lot. They didn't. They ran it down your throat. You know, Bird Ficklin came in, backup quarterback. Did he have a hell of a game? 151 yards rushing, 140 passing, 2 touchdown throwing, another one rushing. I mean, evening Christmas. Just a destruction. Just a destruction. Moving on. Cincinnati over Baylor, 41-20. The game started as a blowout. And I'll be honest, when it got to that point, I turned, I got the quad view for YouTube, and I had this one in it, and I took it out. And it was 24-0. I'm like, I'll watch something else. This one's getting ugly. And then I got a notification on my phone, so then I had to throw it back up there, And so then I saw the game, and I was like, really? It's 27-20? Like, what happened? So I got it up. I went back and watched it, and Baylor did what they did. They always come back, because they don't necessarily quit, but Cincinnati was just too much. The Bearcats shut down this Baylor offense. That's the thing. This is the lowest point total that Baylor's had all year. 20 points? I mean, they shut down the offense. 266 total yards. Sawyer Robertson threw for, 137 yards? This guy's leading the country in passing. 137? Yikes. They completely shut him down, which is not something that we're accustomed to seeing this Bearcats defense do. That was one of the things that we talked about, is that if they're going to be serious contenders to win the Big 12, which they clearly are, your defense has to be better. Well, it damn sure was in this game against a team that was one of the top offensive teams in the United States of America. Cincinnati's defense showed up. Brendan Sorsby, he didn't do a ton. He threw for 111 yards, but he did happen to lead the team in rushing because they ran the ball down Baylor's throat, which you knew they were going to do. Baylor's defense, again, they're allergic to run defense, and Cincinnati literally did exactly what they wanted to. Good for them. They ran it for 265 yards, over 5 yards a carry. They just said, we're going to line up. We're not throwing it well today. We're going to line up and run it because Baylor won't tackle us if we run the football. And they didn't. So Cincinnati moves on, still undefeated in the Big 12, still undefeated. And I picked against them this week. Bearcat fans, let me have it. I don't even know what I was thinking. Me and you have this love-hate relationship. It was more love lately. And then I go and do that. Let me have it in the comments. Gee, many Christmas. What the hell am I thinking? Moving on, man. Houston and Arizona State. Houston, look, 24-16 winner. I say this probably more times than what you guys care to hear. You probably get tired of hearing me say it, but it's true. Football is a game of physicality, and physicality usually wins the day. Not always, but usually it wins the day. In this game, it won the day. And this is what I mean by that, is that Houston ran the ball for 183 yards, only 3.7 yards a carry. But they ran it, they kept running it, and they kept running it. And they said, I get it. We're plunging along here, but we're going to stick to our game plan because we think our physicality is better than yours. We think we're tougher than you. That's Willie Fritz, man. That's Willie Fritz. And they were, Now, here's the thing. Arizona State played just some bad, undisciplined football. First of all, Houston held the ball for 37 minutes. They won a turnover battle. They were efficient on third down, 7 of 15, all signs of being a physical football team. Because when you get in those 3rd and 2 situations, you run the ball for 3 yards. Yeah, it's not a good yards per carry, but it's also a first down. Houston did a lot of that. They did a lot of that. Arizona State was undisciplined. 12 penalties. I mean, come on, man. You're not winning against good competition in close physical games like this if you're committing 12 penalties. Sam Levitt, I thought it was a bad game plan. Now, he got hurt. 18 for 35, though, is not great. 270 yards. I just thought it was a bad game plan because Arizona State was running the football. They just didn't run it enough. They were averaging 4.7 yards a carry. Why don't you keep running the ball? And it's not like Jeff Sims came in and he was 6 of 11. So it's not like they were lighting it up, as far as just this super efficient team. And I know Jordan Dyson didn't play, but hell, one guy had 159 yards receiving. So what are we talking about? What, you think that Dyson was going to add another 100 to that? Come on, guys. It just that you let this one get away. You let it get away. It's your fault. Houston was the more physical football team, and they deserve to win. They deserve to win. Give them all the credit. They went on the road in a game that not a lot of people think that they were going to win. They got physical with Arizona State, and when the game got physical, Arizona State didn't want any part of it. You can fight me. You can be mad at me. You can say whatever you want, but we watched it. The game was physical, and who won? Like I said, physicality usually wins in the end. And in this game, when one team said our advantage is to get physical against a team that likes to be physical, Arizona State likes to be physical. Well, not in this one, they didn't. And Houston ended up winning. Congrats to them. Their Big 12 hopes are firmly still alive, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the year? Man, we're about to hit November, and Houston is right in the thick of this Big 12 race. Not a lot of people would have put bets on that. I guarantee it. So, and then finally, BYU goes to Iowa State and wins 41-27. BYU fans, you know what? They love me. And I don't pat myself on the back very often. I don't do that because I don't need to do that. And to me, I think it's tacky. But in this case, I'm going to do it anyway. I picked against BYU, and there wasn't a BYU fan that didn't say, thank you, Big B. Love you, Big B. Keep doubting us, Big B. Don't pick again. I mean, that's all I heard. That's all I heard. And Lord have mercy, did they come out and not disappoint? But you know what? The game started out, Iowa State got off quick, and we're up 14 late into the second quarter, and you thought, BYU better make a drive. Otherwise, this game could get away from them. And they did. They made a drive. Bear Bachmeier, let's just say this, people. Bear Bachmeier thoroughly outplayed Rocco Beck. Thoroughly outplayed him. I didn't think that would happen. That's why I thought Iowa State would win. Because I thought Rocco Beck would be better. He wasn't. And Bear Bachmeier was incredible. Give the kid credit. On the road, down 14, hostile environment. Need a drive before the half to try to get some momentum going for your team. He does it. He was 22 for 38, 307, 2 touchdowns, ran for another 49 yards and a touchdown. He just outplayed Rocco Beck. And the defense came to play as well. Here's what's wild. The defense had a philosophy. Now, here's the thing. BYU's defense is really good against the run. But what their defense was like, you know what? We're going to play a lot of coverage stuff. We're going to keep our safety back, and we're going to play the pass, and we're going to allow Iowa State to run the ball because we don't think that they're going to stay with it long enough until we have to adjust. They were right. They were right. Iowa State was running the football. I have no idea why they stopped running the football. Iowa State, they had an outstanding game plan as far as running. They were running for 184. They ran for 184, 5.4 yards a carry. And that's even taking into the fact Rocco Beck getting sacked 4 times and losing 31 yards. Carson Hansen had 152. Abasaba, ran for 63. 9.5 and 70. Even if you take Hansen's 65 yards run away from him, which you can't do, but even if you do that, he was averaging 6 yards a carry. They just didn't run it enough. BYU knew it. Like, Iowa State had the plan of running it. You just don't run the football enough. And when you don't, and you have your quarterback trying to run the football, you didn't need to do that. Rocco Beck threw 3 interceptions. Give BYU all the credit, their defense all the credit. 4 sacks, 3 picks. And the plan was, we'll let you run it a little bit. We don't think you're going to stay with it enough. And they didn't. And then when you got behind, it's like, we got you. We got you right where we want you. Brilliant. Brilliant, in my opinion. And BYU treks on. They trek on undefeated. So heading into their bye week, they're top. Still can't get in the top 10, though. Oh, man. AP voters are just bound and determined not to put BYU into the top 10. They're just not going to do it, I see. I don't understand it. My God. But anyway, that was a great weekend, people, as far as what went on in the Big 12. Like I said, there's some teams that you saw, pretenders and contenders. I think we're starting to separate that a little bit. We're starting to see it. November, I still think, is going to be a chaotic month. But we may have one team that rises to the top. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm rooting for chaos. That's because I think chaos is fun. I think chaos is fun. I think that the Big 12, they're going to keep us out, I believe, of having 2 teams into the college football playoff. And I think it'll be a travesty, depending on how it ends up. Now, if we got 2 teams or a team with 2 losses and everybody's got 3 losses or something like that, okay, that's a different conversation. I just don't know that it's going to end like that. I think the conference is well deserving of having 2 teams in the college football playoff this year. But we'll see how it ends up. we'll see how it ends up. So I'm excited. Should be a fun week. Tomorrow, the power rankings will be out. How people can do a power ranking with the way the conference is going, it makes it difficult. But for me, it makes it fun. It makes it absolutely fun. So cannot wait. Look forward to doing it. Appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.